Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show, and I want to introduce you to a little YouTuber called Nox. And he is the most impressive YouTuber I have ever encountered on this website, not because of the quality of his content, but because of the sheer balls on this man. Despite only having 200 subscribers, Nox decided to make a video taking shots at B. Dobbins for the win, Downward Thrust, Clean Prince Gaming, Young Ye, and Layman Gaming, all in a single video. About Destiny 2, no less. The balls on this man, it's incredible. Now don't misunderstand the purpose of this video. I'm not here to slam or slander Nox. I simply want to respond to and discuss several of the points he brings up in this video because I think there are several points of issue, several topics discussed and brought up in Nox's video that are worth talking about, worth going more in depth on. And I also kind of want to shout out his channel and his video, possibly get him more attention because goddamn, the balls on this man. It beggars belief. Now, of course, I highly recommend you watch his video first before watching this one. There will be a link to his video in the description and in the comment section down below. I also want to apologize to Nox. I will be trying to show the least amount of video footage from his video, but I want to provide his points in his video with as much context as possible when discussing them, so I'm going to be showing some video footage. I'm going to do my best to not show the entire bloody video, but I apologize if I end up showing too much. So again, please, I highly recommend you watch his video first before watching mine. With all that being said, all that preamble, let's dive into how Destiny 2 hate channels are doomed. Here's why. Ooh, edgy. I like it.
Destiny, the game that everyone seems to love to hate. Since its initial release back in, September of 2014, this game has always managed to evoke outrage among the gaming community for a myriad of different reasons. I'm not gonna claim these are, unjustified.
I think we can all easily agree upon this. This is undebatable. Destiny, Bungie, Activision, the Triforce of bad decision-making have created their fair share of outrage, most of it justified, some of it hyperbolic. And I think what Nox said is a fair statement. It is a game that the gaming community seems to love to hate. Like, there's some genuinely very disturbing individuals that actually it looks like they get off on projecting and consuming negativity surrounding this video game franchise. Like, don't get me wrong, it's completely understandable to not like Destiny, but it's not hard to find a fair amount of people that seem to derive pleasure in the failures of Destiny and in the anger and disdain towards it. That's not normal, it's actually really creepy. Now, all things considered, this is just a side tangent of mine. We have yet to get into the meat and the heart of the issue Nox has yet to present.
But more interestingly is the community that seemed to have sprouted out of this outrage. You know who I'm talking about. You've most likely seen them spammed in your recommendations tab anytime you look up anything Destiny related. Most likely using a thumbnail with the same face-palming Guardian, with the same downwards arrow, with the same keywords in the title such as doomed, dead, scam, over. You getting the picture yet?
Oh yeah, I get the picture, and I know exactly what and whom you're talking about. You see, these gaming YouTube channels are playing the system. I know the game they play very well because I participate in it as well. You see, YouTube's algorithms are 10 types of bullshit, and they tend to promote very certain types of videos, with very specific titles, tags, and thumbnails. And also, as I established earlier, these YouTubers are trying to take advantage of the very cynical, very pessimistic, and kind of creepy group of people that derive pleasure from the negativity surrounding Destiny. But there's also the totally fair and understandable portion of people that just want to have their biases confirmed. We all do this. We're all guilty of this. There's a lot of gamers, there's a lot of consumers, there's a lot of customers out there that feel burned by Destiny, and these gaming YouTubers take advantage of confirmation bias and profit off it. I'm not throwing shade on them for that. You do what you gotta do to keep your YouTube channel going on YouTube. Granted, some of these YouTube videos reek of desperation for clicks, some of them being verbatim copy-pastes on videos they've already done, and it's undeniable that the several thumbnails using that blue Guardian facepalming are absolutely goddamn lazy. I've seen so many YouTube videos using a thumbnail with that facepalming blue Guardian, it's astounding. The sheer laziness. And Nox is certainly on the money here. These gaming YouTubers are playing the system, so that if you look up anything Destiny related on YouTube, their videos are bound to pop up. up incessantly. And while I wouldn't say this is necessarily a bad thing or a problem, it is, however, a very truthful observation to make.
I'm going to attempt to explain a few of the more cohesive arguments made by these folks and offer my clearly superior expert opinion on them.
Careful with that sarcasm, my man. You might cut yourself on that sharp wit of yours.
First, and the most common reason, Bungie are a bunch of bloodsuckers looking to milk you out of every last dollar in your wallet. I mean, yeah, they want your money. They're a company, and what do companies do? They make money, and lots of it. If you think this is different for literally any other game development studio, then you're poorly mistaken.
Oh boy, it's the they're a company, so they have to make money argument. You know, the Jim Sterling and Young Ye fanatics hate this fucking line. But this line of thinking is both true and false depending on the context of the particular video game developer and publisher in question. I think we can all agree, unless you're a filthy, stinking communist, that companies do indeed need to make money. It's how they go about making that money that many take issue with. How these video games are monetized. If a video game is monetized in a fair way, no one will complain. Look at Respawn Entertainment and Titanfall 2 with its cosmetic-only items that you can purchase. Or look at CD Projekt Red and The Witcher Free, which only has paid-for expansions. Cosmetic-only DLC that you can buy at a cheap price, and fairly reasonable-priced expansion packs that genuinely expand and add on to the content of the base game. No one will take issue with that. There's no reason to take issue with that. It's fair. You get more for what you pay for, no strings attached. But when it comes to Activision Bungie and how they have monetized both Destiny and Destiny 2, that's where people take issue. Yes, Nox, absolutely. They're a company. They need to make money. I absolutely agree. But look at how they're attempting to make that money. First off, they're asking for the full AAA price tag, 2 expansion packs that can also be purchased in a season pass, microtransactions that are tied to RNG gambling loot boxes, and with Destiny 2, most likely, if they're going to follow the same route they took with the first Destiny and have a massive $40 expansion after the first 2 expansions with the Season Pass later on down the road this year. Activision Bungie is asking for a lot of fucking money. And while there's nothing necessarily wrong with all these monetization business practices individually, having them all combined, utilizing them all at once, reeks of wanting to milk as much money as possible to those faithful to the brand. If Destiny 2 just had paid-for expansions and or a paid-for season pass, alone by itself, that would be alright. If Destiny 2 just had a microtransaction store alone by itself and gave away all future content updates for free to everyone, that would be perfectly fine. But Activision Bungie isn't doing that. They're using every single business practice to monetize the game at once. And that's what people take issue with. That's what I take issue with. I have no problem with video game developers and publishers wanting to make money. They need to make money. I want to make money. You want to make money. We all want to make money. It's how we go about making that money that makes a world of difference. The context of how these companies want to earn our money garners different reactions. And the vast majority, doesn't matter if you like or hate the Destiny franchise as a whole, the way it has been monetized by Activision and Bungie has been received mostly poorly. People don't like this means of monetization. Either have expansions and a season pass, or have a microtransaction store and give away all new maps and modes for free. Something of that nature. That's fair, that's reasonable, it doesn't split the player base, the community. It doesn't make customers and consumers who buy the vanilla version of Destiny or Destiny 2 feel like they're not getting the whole experience, that they have to buy the expansions, they have to buy the season pass, they have to purchase these microtransactions, else they're going to be behind the rest of the player base. Context. The context of how our video games are monetized matters. So yes, Nox, I absolutely agree. Companies want and need to make money. But when it comes to Activision Bungie and how they've been handling Destiny, they could be a lot more pro-consumer about it. I think that's something we can both agree on.
That being said, regardless of what people say about Bungie, they're pretty fucking resilient. After receiving pretty harsh reviews from practically everyone, they've never soured or tried to take these criticisms a little too personally.
Nox, Buddy, Bungie doesn't get a say. They don't get a choice in being resilient or not. They have no choice. They have to keep pushing on with the Destiny franchise because they signed a 10-year contract with Activision. Activision gave Bungie millions of dollars to deliver a product that they would then publish. Bungie is contractually obligated to keep pushing forward with Destiny, else Activision will be taking them to court. This isn't a case of, oh, Bungie are just so passionate and really believe in the Destiny franchise and the Destiny IP. Hell no, they have a contract, they have a business deal, and they have to follow through on their end. Now, I'm not implying that there aren't some developers over at Bungie that are absolutely passionate about the Destiny series, but research that is easily available on the internet has shown that the development of these games, Destiny 1 and 2, have been total clusterfucks. Both of them having reboots in mid-development and scrapping so much content and material. Again, while I'm sure there's a fair amount of employees over at Bungie that do love Destiny, I'm also pretty sure that there's a fair amount of employees working at Bungie that cannot wait for this contract to be up, done, and over with, and for them to move on from Destiny. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand your perspective, Nox, but you gotta keep in mind, that 10-year contract with Activision influences everything having to do with Destiny and Bungie's actions with it.
From literally recasting and completely redoing voice lines for Ghost.
Well, my dude, they had no choice. They couldn't get Peter Dinklage back to record more lines. And Dinklage is busy with a dozen different film projects. There was no way they could properly schedule him in to do hours upon hours of more voice work. On the other hand, Nolan North is a veteran voice actor who is readily available to do this. The whole redubbing and recasting of Ghost was a financial business decision, nothing more.
And, to Bungie's credit, they have released plenty of free updates that have improved the game considerably at no cost to you other than your time.
Yes, the free updates and fixes are nice and they absolutely deserve recognition, but the things Bungie are adding and fixing when it comes to Destiny 2 in these small free updates are things they shouldn't have to add or fix. A lot of these features and fixes are things that the first Destiny already had, and Bungie is now recalibrating and retrofitting and rebooting Destiny 2 to be more like Destiny 1. We're going back to the past instead of moving forward. Where other video games have made huge strides sequel to sequel, Bungie and Destiny are still playing catch-up. Yes, the free updates, the free content, the free fixes are all very nice, but we shouldn't be in this position to begin with within the context of this particular situation and within the context of the video game industry and the community at this particular point and time.
Not that these doom and gloom channels would ever tell you about those updates, no. Destiny is dead, remember? Can't let the people see it still as a pulse. Otherwise, you'll completely ruin that narrative.
Now, Nox, my man, I completely agree with you on this. These doom and gloom YouTube channels that you speak of, yes, they absolutely focus on the negatives and the flaws and the outrage much more than they do the positives, the comebacks, the redemption stories. Because if we're being honest, they're more profitable. There are, unfortunately, far more gaming YouTubers looking to make a quick buck rather than having actual honest discussions and debates concerning gaming. It's a damn shame, but all you can do is seek out and browse for the content that appeals to you. Granted, it's always good to hear multiple different voices, multiple different opinions from multiple different personalities. Never box yourself into an echo chamber, which is unfortunately what a lot of these communities surrounding these popular YouTube gaming personalities, Jim Sterling, Young Ye, have conformed to, echo chambers. They are more interested in circle jerking and virtue signaling to one another rather than actually having a nuanced discussion or trying to find solutions to these problems that cause them such distress, I'm sure. No one's being hyperbolic or petty at all, no. Ah, fuck, Nox, your sarcasm is rubbing off on me. But yeah, I have to agree, guys, if we're all being honest here, Destiny, the Destiny franchise, the Destiny series, the Destiny games aren't dead. There's millions, there's hundreds of thousands of people playing these games. These games have far too many players, they make far too much money for Destiny to be dead. It doesn't matter whether you like or dislike Destiny, looking at the numbers, looking at the facts, looking at the statistics, Destiny is not dead. It has a very negative reputation online, absolutely, but calling it a dead game, a dead franchise is just being dishonest.
Second, Bungie doesn't know what they're doing, they're incompetent. This is true. I won't even attempt to deny that Bungie has made some severe fuck-ups.
What? You don't say. You don't say. You don't say!
Yes, this is something we can all agree on, even the Bungie faithful. How Bungie has hundreds of employees and millions upon millions of dollars backing up their Destiny project. And they still manage to fuck it up on so many basic levels, it's hilarious, really. Hell, you know what? It's a miracle. It's a bloody miracle we even have a functioning, working product with Destiny and Destiny 2, with how Bungie has managed the development of these games. I'm not even saying that to be mean or to be an asshole. The information, the evidence is out there on the web for all to see. It's honestly a miracle that Destiny even exists at all. That's craziness. But yeah, Bungie are incompetent. We can all agree on this.
Trust me, it must have been pretty hard for them to pay people to fly out and tear them a new one. That's far more than other game developers have done.
Nox, I have a question for you if you ever happen to see this video. To what video game developers are you referring to? Because from where I'm standing and where I'm looking, there are a shit ton of really awesome video game developers out there that really do embrace and listen to their communities. Respawn Entertainment, CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft Montreal, Platinum Games, Creative Assembly, Fat Shark, Tripwire, Overkill, and more recently and surprisingly, Capcom, with Monster Hunter World and Resident Evil 7. Capcom, of all game devs and publishers, have made a real turnaround. So I'm just saying, I'm curious, who are you comparing Bungie to? What other video game developers are you comparing Bungie to at this moment in your video? I'm very curious. Like, are you actually basing this off examples that you've absorbed from your point of view, or is this just hyperbole? I'm genuinely really curious.
I see a lot of people complaining about the Eververse store, but ultimately, it's no more than a cash shop that's completely optional and has no real impact on the game as a whole.
Oh, you're teetering on a very thin line, my dude, a very thin line. While I will meet you part way, yes, the vast majority of stuff offered at the Eververse store is only cosmetic. There is a portion of the Eververse store that is in fact gameplay affecting. Ghost Shells. Ghost Shells actually have an effect on your progression and the resource farming in the game. And Nox, a fair compromise I believe you can make for me when it comes to the Eververse store is that there is a ridiculous, absurd amount of shit in it. There is so much content in the Eververse store that is locked behind the RNG gambling loot boxes of the Bright Engrams, which yes, you can earn for free, at a slow rate, or get several immediately for spending money on microtransactions. But my point is, there's so much content in the Eververse store that could be just added into the game for free and not locked behind RNG gambling loot boxes. They could be locked behind challenges, defeating bosses. Just add more content to the endgame to keep people playing, give people stuff to grind for. And by having so much content locked behind these RNG loot boxes, there's a higher chance that you're not going to get what you want when you open them. It's not a good microtransaction system. It's not a pro-consumer microtransaction system. It's not like the cosmetic skin packs that you can buy in Titanfall 2. They're at a fair, reasonable price. There's no RNG gambling behind it. You spend a bit of money, you get some cool cosmetics. A simple transaction. The problem with the Eververse store, my dude, is how much is locked behind it and how it is locked behind RNG gambling loot boxes. Yes, it's mostly cosmetic, but it's a lot of cosmetics. A lot of cosmetics that could have helped make the base game better and are locked behind, once again, RNG gambling loot boxes. I do find it hilarious though how Overwatch fanboys are able to defend their RNG gambling loot boxes but lose their shit over Destiny 2's Bright Engrams. Oh, it's okay when Overwatch does RNG gambling loot boxes, but when any other game does that, that's a big no-no, fucking hypocrites.
Oh, and did I mention the developers already have plans for the next upcoming season to move away from the Eververse store and will be focusing on more earnable rewards?
And it turns out that was a fucking lie. They just expanded upon the Eververse store with the Prismatic Matrix.
Or maybe you think the game is too simplistic and easy. Well, I'd suggest trying out either the Raid on Prestige or maybe even the Nightfall. Hell, give Trials a go if you think this game is so easy. I promise, while the game is definitely less complex than the previous title, there are still plenty of challenges to overcome.
Nox, my dude, your point is kind of rendered mute. the more harder, difficult content, the more challenging content for the more hardcore gamers, those are all locked behind player gates. What I mean by that, none of those things have matchmaking. Unless you have a group of friends to play with on a daily or weekly basis when you want to play Destiny 2 and play this hardcore content, well then, you're fucked. I mean, sure, there's websites like Destiny LFG to help you out, but those are third-party, unofficial websites that are fan-made. The fact that Bungie can't just add a lobby or server browser or something so that gamers that are actually invested in Destiny and the more hardcore gamers that want to play the more challenging content just make it easier to access, make it available for everyone to access. Yes, Destiny 2 does contain some more hardcore, more challenging, more rewarding content, but it's an unnecessary pain in the ass to access it. Yet, when it comes to other video games with their more challenging, hardcore content, you can just access it with the click of a button via matchmaking or browsing a server or lobby browser. I get the point you're trying to make, dude. Yes, Destiny 2 does contain more hardcore, more challenging content, despite the vast majority of Destiny 2 being a more casual-focused game, but how Destiny 2, the game itself, functions doesn't really aid your point all too well.
It's not nearly as easy as running a normal strike, dancing off to the side of the map where enemies don't initially spawn in, while both your fire team members pull aggro on the boss and actually participate while you dick around like a lazy asshole.
Oh shit! Shots fired at B. Dobbins! Oh, I love you, Nox. A YouTuber with only 200 subscribers schooling one with over 200,000. Oh, damn, son. Like I said, the balls on this man.
Let's go to the real topic of this video then. Destiny 2 hate channels are doomed, and here's why. The game is improving every day, and the community is slowly but surely returning home.
Yes, that's true, but we shouldn't be in this position to begin with, Nox. Instead of the jaw-dropping visuals, the beautiful music, and the crisp and fun gameplay, what do people talk about and remember when it comes to Destiny? Its reputation. Its reputation for making the same mistakes over and over again, when there's no reason for it, when Bungie has so much talent and so much money behind them. With both Destiny games, instead of launching, coming out swinging, they both launched fumbling and fallen on their faces, and then having to pick themselves back up. Where other video games are coming out day one with a home run, Activision, Bungie, and Destiny are still way behind. Yes, they're getting better, but they shouldn't have to. Especially with the amount of money they are asking for. Don't get me wrong, Nox, you are right. But this isn't simply all black and white. While some of the outrage towards Destiny and Bungie and Activision is hyperbolic and petty, but there is also a fair amount that is reasonably justified.
This is much to the dismay of channels who seem to have almost made a living off manufacturing outrage over not just Destiny 2, but the gaming industry as a whole. It's fine to be critical of the things you love, because you want them to improve and get better. There are plenty of channels and streamers out there who offer actual constructive criticism, not because they hate the game and want to see it fail, but because they want to see it do better. These hate channels, however, don't want to see this industry improve. Quite the opposite. If the industry improved, if the games they milk and get outraged over get better, their channels die, because they've built communities on a foundation of negativity and pessimism. That's why they'll continue to ignore all the improvements a game makes and focus on anything negative, no matter how small.
Oh! Baby, yes! Yes! Nox! Nox, you beautiful man, I could kiss you. No homo, I don't play for the other team, but oh! Yes, this is what I've been saying for years. These communities that these gaming YouTubers have built are not interested in the truth. They are interested in confirmation bias, they are not interested in actually improving the game industry, they are interested in complaining about it. Now don't get me wrong, there's absolutely some outrage from the gaming community directed at the gaming industry that is justified. It's usually taken one step too far, taken way too damn seriously, while solely focusing on that outrage and that negativity and ignoring the achievements that the gaming industry, that gaming as a whole has achieved these past many years. The pessimism, the negativity, the echo chambers that are Jim Sterling's community, Young Ye's community, Downward Frust's community, Clean Prince Gaming's community. I won't speak on to the individual YouTubers themselves, that's whole other stories. I'm talking specifically about their communities, more specifically how they are visualized and portrayed in their comment sections. Video games nowadays, and I absolutely do believe this, and I champion this, are better than ever. We have so many fantastic video games available to us, so many amazing experiences at our disposal, ready for us to get invested in, and yet these negative, pessimistic gaming communities surrounding these gaming YouTubers, all they can focus on is the bad business practices and the commercial failures. And unfortunately, these gaming YouTubers have dug their own graves. Whenever they try to branch out and do something more positive and talk about the video games they do enjoy, their videos don't get nearly as many views, as many hits, as their more negative, more outrage-based video content. So yeah, Nox, you're right on the money here, man. I agree with you 110%.
They'll do whatever it takes to survive, even if that means making an unsourced, unverified claim.
Nox, do you not know that Layman Gaming is SkillUp's shitpost channel? Layman Gaming is an actual credible gaming news source. They literally just shitpost and make memes and have jokes and make fun of shit. I think you may be taking Layman Gaming a bit too seriously, and I don't know if you don't realize the connection to SkillUp, who you showed as a positive example earlier. Layman Gaming and SkillUp, they're the same dudes, my dude.
So let me offer some criticism, and I hope you can take it to heart. Continue being critical of video games. But enough with all this death and doom nonsense. Enough with the petty name calling. Enough with only focusing on the negative aspects of gaming. Reward good behavior and call out the bad. That's how this industry will improve.
Oh, Nox, you beautiful, wonderful man, you. I couldn't have said it any better myself. My God, I found a kindred spirit. Someone who sees the light, that we all don't need to perceive and examine video games in such a negative, pessimistic outlook. It's not all black and white. Nuance, actual honest-to-God nuance. So that's the end of Nox's video. Again, I really hope you watched his video before watching this one. Or hopefully my video has convinced you to go watch the full thing of his. Again, link in the description and in the comment section. But yeah, I gotta give major props to Nox. Again, a YouTuber with only 200 subscribers taking huge shots at some pretty big and prominent gaming YouTubers. And hitting almost every single one spot on except for Layman Gaming. Granted, when it comes to the particular subject of Destiny 2 in question and in criticism, in my personal opinion, I think Nox, you're being a bit too soft on him. Make no mistake, I enjoy Destiny 2 for the alien murder simulator that it is. But enjoying a video game, enjoying a product does not dispel bad decision making from the creators. Yes, Bungie is taking steps to improve and fix their game, but they shouldn't have to in the first place. And while some credit and recognition is absolutely due in some regards and others, well, you shouldn't congratulate someone for cleaning up the mess that they made. But hey, like always with anything, not everything is black and white, good versus evil. There's absolutely debate and discussion to be had, which is why I made this video. Let's have a conversation, all of us, about Bungie, about Destiny, about me, about Nox, about these gaming YouTubers, about pessimism and negativity, about video games, and about how your favorite waifu is shit. Please share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section down below. I love reading comments. Get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. What are your thoughts, feelings, opinions on the topic of this video? Let me know in the comment section down below. I don't get nearly enough comments. I love reading comments. Please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please hit the like button. The like button helps you, helps me, helps everyone for the video. If you hit the like button. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video. I'll see you all later.